If you look at the constitution of the Maldives today, you will find a highly specific mandate. 100% of its citizens must be Muslim. Over 1,000 miles away, this white, ornate structure sits against the coast of Sri Lanka. It marks the location of Baruala, the oldest continuously operating Muslim settlement on the island. Travel west across the ocean to the highlands of Ethiopia, and you find Harar, a fortified, walled settlement known historically as the City of Saints, ruled for centuries by a single royal dynasty. And just next door, millions of Somali children learn the Arabic alphabet by reading from traditional wooden boards, using a highly localized mnemonic system. These four distinct geographical and cultural pillars share a single origin point. They were not forged by an expanding empire. They trace back to a wandering 12th century scholar from the Horn of Africa named al-Barakat Yusuf al-Barbari. In Somali, he is known tenderly as al-Barkadle, the Blessed Father. Al-Barkadle's story begins among these foundational ruins. This is Zayla, an ancient port city on the Gulf of Aden. In the 12th century, it was a cosmopolitan hub where Somali traders, Arab merchants, and intellectuals exchanged ideas daily. He left the coast to study in the courtyards of Abbasid Baghdad, seen here. He mastered Islamic jurisprudence, theology, and philosophy so thoroughly that his peers appended a prestigious title to his name, al-Baghdadi. He could have stayed in the comforts of the academic capital. Instead, he adopted the life of a da'i, a traveling missionary. His goal was to carry his faith outward into regions where it had no foothold. To reach those distant frontiers, he utilized the physical arteries of the medieval world, stepping onto the wooden merchant ships that navigated the maritime trade routes between the Red Sea and the Indian Ocean. By embedding himself directly into these commercial corridors, he ensured his teachings traveled as fast and as far as the trade winds themselves. He sailed south to the teardrop island of Sri Lanka. Amidst deeply entrenched Buddhist and Hindu territories, he carved out the island's first permanent Muslim enclave at Baruala. By 1153 CE, he arrived in the Maldive Islands. The local Buddhist kingdom was paralyzed by a highly specific terror, a sea demon known as Ranamari. The islanders appeased this creature through a monthly tribute. A virgin girl would be left alone overnight in a sea-facing mosque. By morning, she would be found dead. Al-Barkadle volunteered to take the selected girl's place. When night fell, he didn't arm himself. He simply faced Mecca and recited the Quran continuously until dawn. When the terrified locals opened the doors the next morning, they found the scholar alive and deep in prayer. The demon never returned. You can see his impact in the Medhuziari tomb in the capital, Malé, where he is venerated to this day. The reigning Maldivian king witnessed al-Barkadle's survival, embraced Islam on the spot, and initiated the religious transition of the entire archipelago. While cultural shifts often take centuries of gradual friction, the legend of the demon provided a sudden royal precedent, one that the Maldivian people used to define their national identity for the next 900 years. He eventually sailed back to the Horn of Africa. He established a massive religious center at a strategic terrestrial crossroads in Somaliland, a site known today simply as al-Barkadle. Here, he ran into a severe logistical barrier. The native Somali children arriving at his school could not physically pronounce or conceptually grasp the phonetic structure of Arabic. He solved this by engineering the Dugsi system. He assigned a distinct Somali phrase to describe the visual shape and sound of each Arabic letter, creating a direct conceptual bridge. This tool was so efficient, it standardized preparatory Islamic education across the entire region for nearly a millennium. He built shrines directly over ancient pre-Islamic sites, physically layering the new faith onto the old. His actual bloodline descendants would go on to found the Walashma dynasty, the rulers of the walled city of Harar. By returning to the Horn, he transitioned from a wandering missionary into a civic architect, building the dynastic bloodlines and the educational systems that would anchor Islamic life in the region for centuries. By constantly moving, teaching, and adapting to local customs, he transcended his own borders. He became a figure claimed by dozens of distinct cultures. He took isolated pockets of civilization, spanning from the coral reefs of the Maldives to the red earth of Somaliland, and wired them into a single, interconnected network. History often looks to the march of empires to explain how distant cultures meet, but the life of the Blessed Father demonstrates how a single person, moving through established trade winds, can leave an identical, lasting mark on societies separated by thousands of miles of ocean.